Hey, what's going on, peoples? It's we the peoples coming to you with day number 4 of my 30-day challenge. So in this video, I'll be showing off some Fiora Leona gameplay, while also my topic for today will be talking about things that they need to add to Legends of Runeterra, meaning maybe different events, maybe different game modes, or it could be maybe different different overlays in the actual client, like maybe something for tournaments and such. So that's what I'll be going over in this video. So buckle up, you guys, sit back and relax, and hopefully you can enjoy this video. Yeah, that's pretty much the intro. I don't have anything else for you guys. Let me hold on before I lie. Let me make sure I'm actually being serious. Wait, actually no, I do have one thing to say. Next week, Tuesday, we will be having Mystic Shop weekly tournament number 3, I believe it is. So I believe whenever I'm not even sure when I'm gonna actually post the tournament. I should be posting the tournament either today or tomorrow. So whenever I post it, I will be leaving links down below so you guys can check it out. Like I said, I believe I said in the last video yesterday, but just in case this is the first time you guys are hearing it, tournament is every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you would like to enter, I will leave the links down below. Right, let's get into the VOD for today. So like I said, we will be talking about things that they need to add to Legends of Runeterra, if it's different events, in my opinion, if it's different game modes, or if it's just different overlays or things for tournaments and such. So all right, let's get into my opinion. So I do have maybe, I guess you could say, it's like a little list of maybe like 3 things that I say that if they were to add these things into the game, it would definitely make the game way better. Not saying that the game isn't really good, but I think that right now a lot of people just play the game especially just for PvP, which would be basically ranked, basically ladder, which are not a bad way to play the game, but it's just right now I think that that's how a lot of people play. They don't necessarily play for like other game modes, which I think that's what makes your game like really good, is if it's not just the PvP aspect that's good, but it's also things outside of the PvP that make the game good. So number 1 on that list, and maybe I think this is probably my personal opinion, but number 1 on that list, I definitely think they should create a way to incorporate you to be able to make custom cards. I think that is big in like the card game scene, is like creating custom cards and such. And to be honest, I mean, this is not my first card game that I've ever played, but I think it's big for Legends of Runeterra, mostly because it's an online card game. It's really easy to like create the same formats of the Legends of Runeterra like cards. So I think the Legends of Runeterra devs and people that create the the game should honestly embrace it. Like they could create some kind of, I don't know, like maybe some kind of game mode, or maybe some kind of like, I don't know how they would necessarily do it, but they could create some kind of way to incorporate custom cards. Do you know how insane that would be? Like imagine some kind of like editor for like being able to create your own custom cards in Legends of Runeterra. Like, do you know how crazy that would be? that would literally separate Legends of Runeterra from almost every other, not even just card game, but online card game, which is definitely something that in my personal opinion, Legends of Runeterra needs to do. Is they need to separate themselves from other card games. I think that is definitely a big one. And I think if they're able to do that, that would make this game like 10 times better, because that's literally a market that almost nobody is being a part of. All right, so that is number one. Number two, and again, all of these are my personal opinion, but I think if they were to add these things, it would make the game a lot better. Number two, being a way for tournament organizers to advertise ongoing tournaments. I think that the game has definitely worked this way towards being a incredible competitive game, in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not saying Legends of Runeterra hasn't always been a competitive game, but I think in the last like year or so, it's definitely like morphed and kind of like shaped itself into being different from what it was at launch. I think at launch it was much more casual. People didn't know 100% what was good, what was bad, like, and I think it was a lot harder to kind of like sense those kind of things. But now, with how the game is, I think it's very, very competitive, and I think tournaments are a big part of how basically more or less how to gauge how good you are in the game. Seasonals are definitely good, but the issue is that most times seasonals are usually just that. They're at the end of the season, and seasonals are usually like I would call them like your end of the season tournament. But when it comes to other tournaments, meaning like ways to get you ready for those end of season tournaments, there's basically no way for you to know about those, like, at all. Like, unless you're part of a Discord, or you basically have other people that are outside of outside of your circle that play Legends of Runeterra, you pretty much just don't know about any other tournaments that are going on, which I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of like unreal, in my opinion, that like outside of pretty much the Discords, and maybe you could say like some streamers talk about tournaments that are happening, there's pretty much no way for you to know like any tournaments that are coming up. Like, unless it's seasonals, you actually just straight up don't know about it, which is kind of crazy in my opinion. And I think if they were to add some kind of way for you to know about these tournaments, that would be humongous for the Legends of Runeterra scene. It would be humongous for obviously for the competitive scene, but it would also be big because it would allow people that play PvP to not only play ladder but also play in tournaments like, let's say there's a tournament happening like every other day. They could play in these tournaments like every other day, which would be dope. That would be extremely dope, honestly. And I think that's holding back a lot of the scene, is some kind of way for PvPers to basically play in tournaments outside of like knowing about like Discord and such. So that's my number two. My number three, and I think this is more controversial in my opinion. I don't think that other people think. I think that the first two people can probably understand and be like, okay, yeah, these two probably need to be added into the game, to be honest. I'm surprised they're not. But my number three and my final thing that needs to be added into the game is a PvE or sandbox mode. Now, I combine these two because, in my opinion, they're pretty much the same thing. Like a PvE mode where you can basically test out like bugs, test out things that are coming into the game, like different things that are basically being added into the game. That's pretty much, that's pretty much like some kind of like sandbox mode. That's pretty much, it's pretty much the same thing in my book. But the main reason why I say that needs to exist in the game is because, like I just said, it would allow players access to testing different things that are coming into the game. Number one, it would take away the simple fact that you have to be a Riot partner to be able to get access to some kind of like PvE. Because I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Like you should have to be a Riot partner to get access to it. But I don't know. I just don't think it's fair. Like I'm already going on my way to test your game, and then on top of that, it's like I also have to prove myself and be some kind of Riot partner. Like it just doesn't seem right in my opinion. But I don't know. You guys let me know how you feel about it. Do you guys agree with the three different things that I say need to be added to the game? Do you think other things need to be added to the game? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys feel. I will let the rest of the game play out so you guys can see who wins and who doesn't, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Peace out.